Good morning. Welcome to First Parish UU of Medfield. Welcome to all streaming in from home. And welcome to all who are visiting. We hope you will stay for social hour downstairs following the service. This congregation first gathered in 1651. This historic meeting house was built in 1789 on the unceded ancestral land of the Nipmuc. Welcome to this place. Here we search for truth and understanding. Here we celebrate life and contemplate its mysteries. Here we share healing and wholeness. So whoever you are, wherever you come from, whomever you love, we welcome you to this congregation.
This morning's chalice lighting is The Abundance of Our Lives Together by Katie Savani Gelfand. We light our chalice as a symbol of gratitude as we celebrate the abundance of our lives together. In this sanctuary, we harvest bushels of strength from one another, and we offer our crop with the hands of compassion and generosity. In the authentic and gentle manner of our connections, we cultivate a simple sweetness to brighten our spirits. May we be grateful for the ways we nourish and uplift each other, for it is the sharing of this hallowed time together that sustains us.
The words for our call to worship today is an excerpt from Come, Come, Whoever You Are Welcome Here by Matthew Johnson. I want to say to all those who would close the door, who would be guided by fear instead of hope, who would clutch in scarcity rather than live in generosity, who would say, no, you cannot come here. I want to say, how dare you? For the Lord your God is God of gods and Lord of lords, mighty and awesome, who is not partial and takes no bribe, who executes justice for the orphan and the unhoused. and who loves the strangers, providing them with food and clothing. You shall also love the stranger, for you were strangers once too. How dare you? Listen to the voices, see the faces, open your heart. Lest the tears of the holy drown us all, may we be summoned to a higher calling, one of faithfulness and hospitality, and open-hearted love, the best of us and not the worst. Both impulses are in our history and in our present. That colonizing and the nativist, the supremacist, that's part of our history. The part that says difference is scary and there isn't enough, so it's just for us. That is part of who we are, we who live here in this land. But it's only part of our history and only part of our mythos, our story about ourselves. Another part of our story is the welcome, the table open, the door open, the heart open, the embrace of variety and diversity as quintessentially American, the land of freedom regardless of color or origin or faith, the affirmation that there is plenty, there is enough, come and be welcome. That's another part of our story. When we give thanks today, let us give thanks for the best of our story. Give thanks for those who have made journeys, journeys of time and space and journeys of the heart, including yourself. Give thanks that there is plenty. Give thanks for hope and love and possibility. Give thanks for love, which despite what you might see on the news, is stronger in the end than hate. Give thanks and from that place of gratitude, open your heart, open your door, be a living witness of the spirit of hospitality. In joyful thanksgiving, whose bounty we share, come and go with me. Take one more step. When bound to human care and hope, then we are free. In awareness of the truth of our own stories, our own contingency and fragility, our own need to be welcomed, we see in the faces of one another. We can hear in the voices of one another the core humanity, our siblings, our family, our neighbor, and say, come, come, whoever you are welcomed here. And now, please rise in body or in spirit as we sing hymn number 188. Come, come, whoever you are. So let us take a moment now to breathe deeply together and in this unity, Let us feel the universal pulse of life flowing through us. Feel free to close your eyes as you listen to A Prayer for Hope by Kristen Green. Spirit of life, Spirit of love and truth, help us to feel you in our breathing in and breathing out. Quiet our minds, even if only for a moment. Still our bodies, even if only for a moment. Soothe our souls in this holy moment. When uncertainty pervades, give us rest from worry. When fear rises, give us peace. When pain surfaces, give us a balm. Some of our spirits are so weary. Some of our bodies feel fried. Some of our minds feel frantic and uneasy. How long will this last? We ask in desperation. Spirit of life-giving love, remind us of the cycles of life so that we might turn towards the dawn, turn towards the thaw, and turn towards the rebirth of spring with new hope. Make that hope alive in us, O Holy One. Ignite that hope so it burns brighter than our fears. And may that bright hope shine for others to witness, that our faith might be a beacon and our love a lamp to light the way. O luminous Spirit, fill us with gratitude as we turn towards one another in the human family, never alone on our journey, always reminded of a greater love that holds all. Blessed be, may it be so. Amen. And now let us enter into a time of silent reflection and meditation.
This morning's reading is an excerpt from Braiding Sweetgrass, Indigenous Wisdom, Scientific Knowledge, and the Teachings of Plants. Cultures of gratitude must also be cultures of reciprocity. Each person, human or no, is bound to every other in a reciprocal relationship. Just as all beings have a duty to me, I have a duty to them. If an animal gives its life to feed me, I am in turn bound to support its life. If I receive a stream's gift of pure water, then I am responsible for returning a gift in kind. An integral part of a human's education is to know these duties and how to perform them.
So, I was told that the theme today is generosity, to kind of coincide with the annual pledge drive. And hence, I decided to do the sermon, which I titled the Universality of Our Precious Gift. I'd like for us to focus on gratitude for a bit. Every year, gratitude becomes a flurried word around the holidays. Thanksgiving comes around with a stern reminder, be grateful. The very act of Thanksgiving has been commercialized and capitalized, which is wrong in so many ways. Not just that it is re-traumatizing for our indigenous siblings and can bring up painful memories of colonization, genocide, displacement, and ongoing discrimination, but by doing so, gratitude becomes a mandate, something that we are supposed to feel for just one day of the year. Gratitude is not supposed to be a day-long event, but rather a part of who we are daily. Curious how gratitude is formally defined, I came across the American Psychological Association's definition of gratitude as, quote, a sense of happiness and thankfulness in response to a fortunate happenstance or tangible gift, end quote. In our materialistic lives, we have been conditioned to look for tangible and concrete gifts to be thankful for. And therefore, it is easy to lose sight of the blessings we are surrounded by. Today, as we gather together with open hearts, I want to reflect on one of the simplest yet most profound gifts bestowed upon each one of us, the gift of breath. In the quietness of our breath, there is a miracle, one that we don't often pause enough to acknowledge. Breath is life itself. Our breath, with each inhale and exhale, sustains us, connects us, and invites us into the present moment. The breath arrives freely, sustaining us from the moment we are born to the last minute we inhabit this world. Our breath is our constant companion. And while breathing appears to be a solitary act, the truth is that the air we breathe has been part of all the lives that have come before us. It also holds everyone around us, and at the same time connects us to those yet to come. Every person alive, every creature that roams this earth, every plant that grows shares in this vital exchange. No matter where we come from, what language we speak, what beliefs we hold dear, the breath is a shared experience. It transcends boundaries of nation, culture, and creed. Whether a daily laborer in some far-off village, a wealthy stockbroker in the city, a child playing in the sun, or someone gathered here today, we are all unified by breath. This breath, my breath, your breath, has traveled through mountains, across oceans, through forests, and has been inhaled and exhaled by generations long gone and generations yet to come. In this way, our breath connects us to the whole of creation, from the smallest blade of grass to the vast expanse of the stars above. In every breath, we participate in the endless cycle of life, of receiving and giving. Every breath we take is a reminder that we are more than mere flesh and bone. We are animated by something greater, something divine. Breath, therefore, is not just a biological function. It is a sacred act. I don't have to tell you that many spiritual and religious traditions see breath as a manifestation of the divine. In the Christian tradition, we are reminded that God breathed life into Adam, symbolizing that the breath is infused with the Spirit itself. In Hebrew, the word ruach means breath of life, or the Spirit of God. Genesis 8:1 uses ruach to describe the wind. God sent over the earth to recede the flood waters. In Greek, similarly, pneuma, which refers to God's Spirit and the creative force behind the words that formed everything our world is, carries similar meanings. Both words are used to describe the Holy Spirit in the Bible. The breath of God is often seen as synonymous with the Spirit of God moving in the world and within us. In the Eastern traditions where I come from, the breath is seen as the flow of life force, or prana, the energy that animates the universe. In Hinduism, prana is more than just physical air or breath. It is the energy that sustains life. The Sanskrit word prana comes from pra, which means first, and ana, which means movement. Thus, prana represents the primary force that causes movement or life in the universe. According to the Vedic scriptures, prana is the energy that permeates the cosmos, the body, the mind, and the soul. The breath is talked about in great details in the Hindu scriptures, and I thought I'd share a bit more here today. For more than ever, we need to be reminded of the power of our breath today. In the Prashna Upanishad, an ancient Hindu text dating back to the first millennium BCE, it is said, quote, "Prana is born of the self. Like the shadow cast by a person, this prana is attached to the self. Through the activity of the mind, prana causes the body to live." End quote. This illustrates how prana is not only tied to the breath, but to the very essence of the soul, reflecting the divine energy that is present within each one of us. Breath is also seen as a bridge between the mind and the body. For those of you who practice yoga, you may know that pranayama, which is control of the breath, is a key discipline used to harmonize and purify both the body and the mind. Yoga is not just about making our bodies feel good. It is about controlling the breath and thereby calming the mind. Yoga, in Hinduism, is seen as a bridge to the divine. Controlling the breath is understood to help control the mind. One moves towards inner peace and self-realization. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna speaks of pranayama as a path to balance the senses and unite oneself with the divine. Breath then becomes a spiritual offering, a sacred act that merges the individual self with the cosmic rhythm. In Hinduism, the body is believed to be a complex interplay of forces, and breath nourishes and balances these forces, keeping life in harmony. Every aspect of our life force is interconnected. When we breathe consciously, we honor the movements of life within us. Thus, mindful breathing can be seen as an act of honoring the divine presence in all aspects of life. Next, breath is also tied to the cycle of birth and death. The breath represents the rhythm of life itself. In its simplest form, by way of the first breath we take when we are born and the last breath we give out when we die. Our entire lifetime is contained within these breaths, and each breath, according to Hindu thought, is a reflection of karma, the actions we perform, the life we live, and the consequences of these actions. Here, one does not have to believe in the concept of life after death. Karma also refers to the actions we perform daily. With every breath, we have the opportunity to align ourselves more closely with our dharma or duty, transcending worldly attachments and moving towards liberation. So here I must emphasize that renunciation does not mean rejecting our worldly obligations. Instead, it means to do our righteous duty without expecting anything in return. The ultimate goal of Hindu spiritual practice is moksha, or liberation from the cycle of birth and rebirth. Breath plays a crucial role in this pursuit. Through the practice of pranayama, one cannot only quiet the mind, but also transcend the ego. That's the most important part. When we are aware of our breath, we are aware of the divine flow of energy within us, which can lead to deeper spiritual insights. In Hatha Yoga Pradipa, it is said that when the breath wanders, the mind becomes unsteady. But when the breath is still, so is the mind. When we control the mind, we can move towards spiritual enlightenment and liberation. So, I'm sure you're thinking, why are we talking about breath today? Well, because breath is the source of gratitude, and gratitude in turn engenders generosity. Gratitude is the foundation of spiritual progress and the key to inner peace. Gratitude begins when we slow down enough to truly notice. So often we live in anticipation of the future or in regret of the past, but it's our breath that draws us back to the present. Right now, in this very moment, we are alive. With each breath, we are gifted a fresh opportunity, a chance to feel, to love, to learn, to grow, to connect, and to serve. Again, in many spiritual practices, including my own, collective breath is a form of prayer, a call for peace, healing, and unity. When we synchronize our breathing, it is as though we are synchronizing our hearts, our hopes, and our intentions. Imagine the power when we as individuals and communities breathe together in gratitude. In our breath, we find life, we find peace, we find each other. Through our breath, we can connect to the essence of the divine which resides in each one of us. We are well aware that our beautiful world is filled with division. But it is this shared act of breathing. But it is in the shared act of breathing that we remember our common humanity. If I recognize your breath as sacred, how can I ever cause you harm? Let us imagine what our world would be if we all recognized the gift of breath, if we each took a moment to feel gratitude for this life-sustaining gift. Perhaps we would be gentler with each other, more compassionate, more awareness of the sacredness of each moment and the sanctity of life itself. So today, I invite us to live in greater awareness of our breath. Each time we breathe, may we be reminded of the life that flows through us, the gift that sustains us. Let our breath be a prayer of gratitude for the simple and profound blessings we often take for granted. Let our breath be a reminder to be generous and to share what we have with those around us. We must be generous because in giving we are doing our sacred duty. In fact, generosity, as you know, is now explicitly stated as one of our values, along with justice, equity, interdependence, pluralism, and transformation, all of them tethered to love. Our values mandate that we cultivate a spirit of gratitude. When we are generous, we are doing holy work. So the next time you wake up, take a moment to breathe deeply and give thanks. As you go through your life, let the breath remind you that you are alive, that you are connected to everything around you. And when you lay down to rest, let your breath be a reminder of the grace that carried you through another day, that allowed you to be a warrior of justice, a carrier of kindness, and a carter of generosity. May we find joy in giving, purpose in our actions, and peace in knowing that we are all part of the shared journey of life. Amen and Ashe. May it be so. And now, I'd like to invite Fritz for the offering.
Good morning, and thank you for this sermon. As a cancer patient in remission and someone with what appears to be a chronic cold, I'm certainly grateful for every breath that I can draw. As Dawn already said, we live in a time of crisis, and in this crisis, this community becomes a sanctuary, a refuge for truth and hope, for democracy and compassion. And I invite you, I encourage you to support this community with all your strength, all the means you can muster. Today's offering is split between this congregation and local food banks. And as a one-time student and teacher of philanthropy, I've always been amazed that we live in a world where food banks are necessary, and also been in wonder that there's so many people, so many generous people who support them without any legal compulsion out of the goodness of their hearts. So in this tradition, there's another reason for your generosity today. Thank you.
And now please rise in body or in spirit as we sing hymn number 83, Winds Be Still. Beautiful, thank you. May our breath become our anchor when life feels overwhelming. May we always be grateful for this gift. May we always remember the sacredness of each breath. May we be mindful of our breathing as an act of devotion, a way to connect with the divine in me and the divine in you. May we remember that every inhale and every exhale is an opportunity to honor life, to find balance, to serve with generosity, and to strive towards spiritual awakening. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. To all that has been, to all that is, and to all that is yet to be, peace, peace, and only peace. I will now extinguish the chalice, but may its light continue to shine in our hearts until we meet next time.